So, a trailer for a new Tokyo Ghoul game just dropped called Call to Exist, and looking from the comments, most people seem pretty hyped about it, but I'm not. The Tokyo Ghoul fanbase has been pretty desperate for a good adaptation since the anime has varied from lackluster to downright insulting. So I really understand why people are so hopeful that the game will turn out to be a both enjoyable and faithful adaptation to the source material. And the trailer is definitely very well made from a cinematic standpoint, but look closely and ask yourself, what does it actually tell you about the gameplay and narrative of Call to Exist? All I can take from it are that there are characters from the manga, and that they are fighting large numbers of dispensable Stormtrooper red shirt type enemies in what looks like a 3D brawler type game. Here's my primary concern. This is a Namco Bandai game adapting an anime property, and anyone who knows Namco Bandai knows that when they make a game out of an anime, it's probably going to be a Dynasty Warriors clone. Now, this isn't certain, but the only exception to this rule that I know of is the Attack on Titan game, and the premise pretty much forced a different gameplay style on that. The gameplay that is shown also seems very similar to that of Dynasty Warriors, so I hope you can grant that it's at least not implausible. Now you're probably thinking, that might be true, but is that such a bad thing? Dynasty Warriors are pretty good. And that's really fair. I certainly like me some Dynasty Warriors action. In fact, One Piece Pirate Warriors is probably my favourite Hangover game and has a special place in my heart for that. But ask yourself, is this really the kind of game for the Tokyo Ghoul IP? If someone were to ask you what Tokyo Ghoul and its appeal were all about, how closely would your answer match this game? To me, it's the atmosphere of almost utter hopelessness surrounding this brutal conflict between two morally complex sides, supporting a cast of very human characters. Now that's in no way objective, and you don't need to support me on that, but I hope that we can at least agree that it's not about Kaneki Ken punching a horde of random indispensable red shirt enemies. Just think of the potential this IP could have for games. Imagine a RPG for Tokyo Ghoul in the vein of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Or a Telltale style game which focuses on dialogue and choice, or even some sort of narrative 2D fighting game like BlazBlue, or is it BlazBlue? I always forget. I don't think a Tokyo Ghoul Dynasty Warriors game would be a bad game, I just think it would be a waste. Maybe I'm just being an overly cynical fanboy. I'll probably still buy the game, when it goes on a Steam sale at least. And ultimately, it could be a lot worse. We could be the Berserk fanbase.